the Sherborn Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm Rick Novak. I'm joined by fellow board members Jonathan Fitch and Ron Stefik. Ron Stefik, how are you feeling?
Fine.
Great. Glad
Fully
to hear that.
recovered, but my wife injured her back.
Oh dear, that's too bad.
That's not usually a COVID side effect.
No. But yeah, that happened on this weekend. She had
I'm
a
sorry.
yard sale. She had a yard sale.
Ah,
Lugging all this stuff around the yard.
there is the concept of delegating that stuff, but I haven't learned, so I guess I'm in no position to criticize.
Well, I wasn't available, so.
Okay. All right, let's get it underway. We've got a pretty full agenda. First up is petition 2202-1313, petition of Jennifer Ziskin, Heritage of Sherborn, for renewal of special permit for outdoor entertainment. I think we renewed this in the spring for a couple of months to see how things went. Ms. Ziskin, tell us how it's been going.
So I feel like I've been very good about sending the sound meter testings every month. We haven't had, a ton of outdoor entertainment, but we've definitely had our fair share. Every time we do sound tests across the street or on our perimeter. If those tests find under 75 degrees decibel, then we feel pretty good about not having to go across the street. We take pictures of everything and we've submitted everything every month to you all. I felt badly that I hadn't been doing that, and I feel like I've been definitely more diligent about doing it in the, since we last met. Outdoor entertainment and events have been a game changer for Heritage. We were able to really survive COVID because we expanded the outside, as you all know, 100 seats outside. It's literally, I don't think we would have survived. We couldn't have survived, and we wouldn't survive without it. I think that it's really important for you to know how important that is for us to have the music outside, to be able to plan events in the spring, plan events throughout the winter. It sustains us, and we could not stay open without it.
Okay. And you'd like to be renewed for a period of how long?
As long as you will allow us. I appreciate the neighbors, and they want us to check in so often, and I really appreciate that. So I'm fine to have these check-ins, but as long as you will allow us, because we do book events in advance, especially weddings are already booking out 2023, obviously 2024, and so on. So whatever we're not black and white. We are a husband and wife team. So we just look to you, and we'll do whatever you think. But obviously, we're having events booking out a couple of years in advance now. Thank goodness. So
Okay. Nice problem to have.
Allow us.
Okay, well, the max we could allow you under the bylaw is 2 years. So I'm assuming that's your request.
Yes, thank you.
Is there anyone here from the public? Last time a bunch of people wanted to be heard. Anyone to comment on the application of the Heritage? Mr. Constantine, sorry.
Thanks. Hey, good evening, everyone. Steve Constantine, 30 North Main Street. I'd like to, let me just start off by saying there's definitely been an improvement. I know we had a meeting to renew the permit May 9th. Things have gotten a little bit better, but it's kind of mixed results. Could I share my screen?
As far as I'm concerned, Jeannie, can you do that?
He can. It's at the bottom. There's a green. There it is.
There we go.
I got it.
Lovely, but not relevant to the sound, I hope.
Correct. All right. So Jeannie's been really good. She provided me the reports that the Heritage has submitted over the past 6 months.
Good.
What I did. Sorry?
No, I said good. That's exactly what we want.
That's definitely what we want. And so what I did is I plugged them into my spreadsheet to see how they compared. I also bought myself a $350 sound meter.
Good for you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that you waved it around? It looks like the one that's specified in the bylaw, is it?
It is. It's the exact same one. Jeannie sent me the information and I ordered it online.
Perfect. Sorry for the expense, but I thank you for the cooperation.
You're welcome. So starting down here in line, we can start here in June 2nd. That's when I first started using the meter. And you
Yeah.
can see we taking a look at it, the Heritage's readings, it looks like they're all below 70 pretty much, which is good. That's good. Some of my readings were above 70. And I did hit 75, which is the limit. I did, and I know Jeannie and I went back and forth a little bit. I don't have reports for these dates. So I'm not sure what happened there. But again, and I also don't have readings for a couple of them. So I'm not sure if I was out of town or had something else going on or what. But so here's where we are with the reporting. Again, we're never going to be perfect here. The Heritage is never going to align exactly to I have because we go out at different times. The music is different at different times as far as the sound levels. So we're never going to be the same. We're going to be close, but we're never going to be the same. No police calls during that period. Okay, any questions about this, about the readings that I have?
Yeah, can you just help catch me up? Column C is your ratings,
My decibel ratings, correct,
and column D for dog is what Heritage reported.
correct.
Okay, got it. All right, and just, can you scroll down? Can we see what happens after? Oh, I see. It's in reverse order of time.
It
Got
is. It is.
Ah,
To make it a little
all
more
right.
convenient. And I don't think we want to scroll down. It was
Yeah, okay, right, because
kind of ugly back then.
I saw you use the X tech starting in May sometime. Yeah,
That's right
June
here.
2nd,
on
June 2nd,
was the
okay.
first time.
All right, so you've got two, if I'm understanding you correctly, you've got two incidences on June 4 of your reports are over 75 and her reports are under 75.
Yeah, so this was interesting. Again, Jeannie sent me the info on this. I guess on the 4th, they had two events, one in the morning / afternoon and one in the evening. But I only took one reading for that. To me, it was just one long continuous event. And those are the readings that I had.
Okay, and when the reading says 68-3-75-2, it means during a period of a minute or two or 10 minutes or whatever it was, it ranged between those?
Yeah, so the meter, what you do, it does, at least the way I've used it and the way I've read it, you take an instantaneous reading, and that's what I put down. I take two of them, so I'll take two at a time.
Got it. You took two, okay, so, all right, so at least, according to your data, at least, and using the right machine, at least twice, they were slightly over the limit in June.
Correct. And
Okay.
again, these are my readings, and you can see that
Right.
it looks like the Heritage missed a few of their readings as well. Okay.
Whatever, the limit is they're supposed to not go over 75. So if you have at least two over 75, that's relevant to our discussion for sure.
Correct. And also the fact that they didn't report is relevant to our discussion as well.
Okay. And what would you have us do about that?
Well, let me continue here. So
Please.
a couple things, actually three things that I've got from what my thoughts are. The first one is, so the permit was changed back in September of 2020. If you remember, Jennifer came before the board and wanted to extend outdoor entertainment for the winter. And again, this is for COVID. This is kind of help out the Heritage, because during that time, dining room capacity was reduced. It was only 25%. It moved up to 40%, but now it's back to 100. So that language was reflected in the amended permit, saying that they could do this year round. If you look at the language from the original permit, outdoor entertainment is only allowed from May 1st to October 31st of each year. So first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to see that revert back for the new permit. I'm assuming a new permit's going to be issued.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, the second item I've got is I'd like to see the permit issued for 1 year. Again, I think there was improvement, but obviously not 100%. I'm not sure if we'll ever get to 100%. But instead of going for the 2 year, I'd like to see the permit issued for 1 year.
Okay,
And then the third item I have is I would like Jennifer to agree to lower the maximum decibel range to 65. One of the things we talked about at the May meeting was that, here it is right here, anything over 70 can result in permanent hearing loss. What the permit says now is 75. That is the highest decibel allowed in the entire state. And again, I'll show you these real quick. Noise in Boston, here we are, 70%. Ordinances listed by cities and town, 50%, 70%, 60%. No one hits 75. 75 is way out of line. And so one of the things I would like to see is I would like to see have Jennifer agree to go to 65. Again, look at Somerville. This is real interesting. 10 minutes, okay? They'll allow 75 decibels for 10 minutes. That's it. That's all they're gonna allow for. Again, there's hearing damage that can be associated with this. I'd like to go to 65. And I think that's it. I mean, I don't want to be coming to these meetings all the time either. I think that will solve the problem as long as the heritage can keep to 65 or below. I mean, I'm not going to complain. And again, I'm not going to push for having a sound barrier put up. I think the three things that I'm asking for, the first one I think has to happen. Again, it was part of the permit for a special situation. And the other two, issue it for a year. Let's see how they do, and let's keep it at 65 or below.
okay, and thank you, and especially thank you for coming in with the right equipment, because that changes everything. Is there anyone else from the public who wants to be heard on this? Going once, going twice. Okay, board members, you've
Is
heard all
that-
this.
Does that
Oops.
include me?
Oh, that absolutely includes you. And
Oh,
you,
okay.
and I didn't mean to skip over your rebuttal or response time, Jen, so please go ahead.
Okay, I would love to rebuttal a little bit. So I do appreciate Steve coming up with these numbers and also getting the proper equipment. That is amazing, and that is very helpful. I will say every time I have gone out to take a reading, the traffic is at 75 decibels. I am not even exaggerating. So if you take your sound thing out to the street, it's 75 decibels. So I think reducing the sound below 75 decibels it's not even possible. I mean, it's a stretch with that. You go out to the street, you hear the cars going by, it's 75 decibels. So it's not, I know there are a lot of studies out there, but I do attest to all of you to go out to the street with my sound thing. Every time a truck goes by, it's at 75 decibels. So I have to like wait till the cars go by, take a reading and make sure it's proper. So that's one thing I just feel like we cannot go below that. That is like it's not even like, the DJs cannot believe that that's the sound that they have to, account for. But I always say it's like the sound across the street, so it's fine. And it really is fine. And we can definitely stay with 75 decibels. It's very hard to do less than 1 year because we are booking weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, events that do book out more than 1 year. So we do ask for you. I mean, that is our bread and butter. The events help us stay open, help us stay, available for the town. It's impossible to book an event without being able to say you can book an event next year or the year after. So less than 2 years is very challenging. I was super nervous this year, even to book events past, October, because I knew I was coming in front of the town. And then I think that the thing with COVID, we don't have clients that feel like COVID's over. I know that everybody feels like it is, but it's not. And we're getting people that are still booking outside. We have, at our other restaurant, thank God we have the patio, we have the terrace, because all the doctors, all the hospitals are booking outside. People are counting on us to have the outside space. They're counting on us to have the ice rink. I've had so many people ask me about the ice rink. The select board in Brookline called me to be like, how did you make this happen? How did you have an ice rink? We want to have this in Brookline, like a place as large as that. They can't believe we were able to make this happen. So I think that having this outside space to be able to have entertainment, to be able to have like a safe zone, it's instrumental for the town. It's instrumental for the, for the guests, for the everything. And for us, we cannot stay open without this. So I just hope you'll decide to 2 years, 12 months. I mean, whatever you can do to help us would be amazing.
Thank you. Anyone else other than board members with something to say on this? And Steve
could make an
Constantine, that could
observation.
include you.
Thank you. So to rebut the rebuttal, I don't have
But
anything.
then this is the last rebuttal of rebuttals, folks, okay?
I
Unless
don't
someone's
have
got something
anything
really
against-
new to say.
This is a
Go ahead.
I
sir
don't have
rebuttal.
anything against outdoor dining. I think it's a great thing. People enjoy it. So keep in mind, I'm not trying to prevent the heritage from not having outdoor dining. I think it's a great thing. But again, we've gone back to 100%. The dining room's available 100%. It is going to be winter time. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to keep it to the 6-month period, May 1st to October 31st. Number one, the 675 decibel limit. I usually take my readings usually around 8 o'clock, 8:30, and most of the truck traffic is gone by then. All you have is maybe a few cars going by. So I think it's pretty easy to be able to take a reading and keep it below 65. I've also done in my research that most towns, they will take that reading from the nearest public way, which would be the sidewalk on the other side of the street from me, the sidewalk next to you. So again, I think the 75 is way out of line. And again, I'm not trying to stop anything. I think 65 is reasonable. And the third thing, let's try it for a year. Again, we're still in flux here. We haven't reached any kind of an agreement. I'd still like to see this done just for a year.
I get it. I've heard that, but now we're getting a little bit repetitive. So thank you very much for your comments and for the very helpful materials. Jean or Steve, can you stop the screen share? And then I'd like to hear from the board members. Thank you very much. Mr. Fitch, Mr. Stefik, how do you feel? Your feelings are important to me as always. How do you feel about all of this?
Well, I have a little difficulty of reducing the dB requirement in that the bylaws allow 75 dB. So I think if someone wishes to have that lowered, they should initiate a change to the bylaw.
Okay, well, I agree with that in part. Technically, I think we have the power to impose a lower level. Whether we choose to do that or not is, and whether we should leave it to the town, which set the 75 is a very fair question. Mr. Fitch.
I have another question.
I bet, and I'm sorry. You should please finish, Ron.
Okay, did I understand correctly that the objection was to having the outdoor entertainment year round? Was
I
that,
think that was one of the things he said. I think he wanted it reeled back to just May 1 to October 31. Steve, did I hear you right?
yeah.
That's correct.
Well, it seems to me that the critical time is in the summer when people have windows open and, you know, in the wintertime, everybody has, you know, double panes of glass and storm windows. Seems to me it would be less of a noise intrusion in the wintertime.
Okay.
So those are the 2 points I had.
And do you have any thoughts, Ron, on the duration, 1 year versus 2 years versus shorter? We can't go longer than 2. That's in the bylaw.
I mean, it seems to me the compliance has been pretty close during our test period, and I would be open to a 2-year period.
Thank you. Mr. Fitch.
Okay, well, you can call me Jonathan, actually, Mr. Chairman. Data shows that the heritage is been close to 65 in its measurements. I don't really see the need to reduce the 75 maximum. The numbers have been running lower. I'd like to renew this permit for a year. And I'd like there to be continued reporting. We've got, I think, you know, basically good data from what, July through September. I mean, let's see what happens during the next year. And the imposition to maintain the reporting records and to do the testing remains on the heritage. They're going to be putting the data down anyway, and they should be reporting it. And we can check back in a year. And if everything is basically unchanged after a year, I'll be in favor of renewing again. There's no, I don't see an issue with 2024. You're making reservations for 2023. And people start asking you about 2024. Well, you probably have a high level of confidence that you're not going to be going over 75 decibels, and that you're going to keep doing your testing and showing compliance. And so I don't think there's anything to worry about with respect to 2024, frankly.
Okay.
Just one man's opinion.
And Ron, do you want any rebuttal to that since it's rebuttal night?
And no, I have no rebuttal to make to that. I mean,
Okay. I guess my leanings are very much similar to you guys, which is that we got the legal power to go under 75, but I'm not inclined to do it. I'm not inclined to reel that back. But the good news is we have a clear standard of 75. Steve has the right equipment to do his testing, and you know, for the next permit period, he's going to be out there checking, and that's perfectly fair and reasonable. Jen, you're going to have to make sure you're really disciplined about turning in your reports. You've been better, but there's still room for improvement there. I know you're trying to run a difficult business, but this has to be on the list of things that you got to do. I'd also invite you to submit nights when you don't have outdoor entertainment. Go out there at 8 o'clock and just pull the truck traffic. Because if the point is the truck traffic is just as loud, that's a legit defense, but give us the evidence. I would not be inclined to reel back from year round at this point. I still think it's a hard time in the restaurant business, even if things are technically all the way open. There are a lot of people who don't necessarily go into restaurants like me. And that doesn't necessarily make them insane, but it does cut into the restaurant traffic. So I'd happily go with 1 year, 75 and year round. And it sounds like all three of us could live with that. And while it isn't what Ms. Ziskin wants or what Mr. Constantine wants, they get to rearm themselves and come back and yell at us in a year. That's my proposal.
I'm
I second
I'm
that.
fine with that.
All right, so I will phrase this as a vote. I hereby move that we renew the petition of 2202-13 for a period of 1 year, 12 months. And I don't think we need it. Steve, take a look. You can put up your screen. I don't think we need to change any other conditions. The conditions about regular reporting are already in there. You both got the right testing equipment. I think if we say 1 year, the way it is now, I think we're okay. But feel free to correct me, board members or Steve or Jen.
I think it's right. Do we need to submit if we have no entertainment? Because I really do think every month that I've had entertainment, I've
You-
submitted. So
No,
that's
no, dates when you don't have entertainment, it's just an invitation to say,
Okay.
okay, look, I know I don't have entertainment,
Right.
but I stuck my meter out and the traffic pegged it at 80.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
I'm
useful
happy to
information
get
to
the
know.
traffic. Okay.
You don't have to do it,
Right. Okay.
but if you come in here next year and say, hey, wait a second, it's not me, it's the traffic, it'd be great to have 12 tests when you weren't doing anything. That's
No,
all
I
I'm
really
saying.
appreciate it. I will do whatever I can. So,
And you
definitely.
know that Mr. Constantine will be watching you very carefully with exactly the right equipment, so.
Yep, I know. That's
all
okay.
fair. Okay,
We're
all
happy.
right,
I'm a rule follower. We know this.
all
I
right.
try to be as much as I can, as much as I'm able to. I am, and I appreciate all your support. So thank you.
All right. Okay, so moved and seconded to extend on the current terms for 1 year. Any further discussion, board members?
No,
Okay, all in favor, roll call by name, Novak votes aye.
Stefan, aye.
Fitch, aye.
All right. Ms. Ziskin, you can get on your way. Mr. Constantine, I suggest you hang around.
Will do.
Next up, 2202-14, petition of Raymond Weiss for renewal special permit. Building business with signage 28 North Main Street, Business G District. Ray, I saw it. There you are, right there. You have
We're
anything to
not
say?
playing any music and things haven't changed since '08, I think. So,
Okay, you just want a straight up renewal for the period, which is, I think 5 years, whatever it is.
yeah,
Who you for? Okay. Anything else to say, sir?
no,
All right. Any members of the public have any commentary on the renewal of the permit 28 North Main Street for the design build business? Okay. Board members.
Steve
You got my hand
Constantine
up?
has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Ray's my next door neighbor, runs a great business. He's a great guy. I don't have any problem with this at all. Again, I'm glad to have him as a neighbor.
Great. Well, we're always glad to hear supportive neighbor comments, and even not supportive neighbor comments are still legit. So thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Board members?
No.
Comments, questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move that we approve the request for a special permit number 2202-14 for the renewal under sections 3.2.17 and 5.2.7 to operate a design build business with signage at 28 North Main Street in
Second,
a business district G,
one guy ahead of me.
period, I believe, of 2 years.
Right, Jeannie, is it 2 years?
It's 5 years.
2 years. And otherwise, on the conditions of the prior permit. But with that friendly amendment, I'd second it.
I think this is a 5-year renewal.
Okay,
Okay,
So
May I?
moved. Oh, go ahead, Ray.
It has been short for a number of years, and there has been, I don't want to use the word precedence because I think that's antiquated, but the law, there are many businesses that get the 5-year approval. And I think some of it has to do with whatever the business is and the longevity. So it has been for less time.
No,
I just can't remember.
it was, you were issued, the last one was in 2017. And it expired this year. You might be thinking of the permit for the back property.
Thank you, Jeannie. That is what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
okay.
Okay,
All right. 5-year term, all the conditions of the prior permit. I second that motion. Any further discussion?
No,
All in favor, voting by roll call, Novak votes aye.
Stefan, aye.
Pitch, aye.
All right, Ray, thanks. We'll see you in 5 years.
Thank you.
I'm up.
Okay,
Okay. Next up, petition 2202-15, Robert Carrera, renewal of special permit 3.2.19, 5.2.7, retail store with signage 25 North Main Street in the Business G District. Is this the bike shop?
That is the bike shop.
Got it. I keep hoping to see you break ground there on the other permit we gave you, but I guess that'll be in the fullness of time, huh?
We are taking it in a very methodical process. Tomorrow will be the perk test. And eventually, as soon as we can, get that in compliance. And shortly thereafter, if we can get the appropriate decisions on the part of other authorities, we'll be able to break ground. And my builder would like to set the foundation before the onset of winter, if that's possible, and then finish it up as soon as he can in the springtime. That's the general plan. But there are so many other people involved that want to make sure that it progresses according to the rules and regulations.
Got it.
Well, that's
Well,
important. Good.
we do love our rules. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm in favor of that. Just adds to the quality of life.
Okay, but this permit per se is just for the bike shop as it currently sits. And you'd like us probably to phrase in our permit, if we grant it, that it'll apply to the new premises under the other special permit you just got, or under the finding you just got.
That would be appreciated. And the term, of course, has always been 5 years. So if we could have it for 5 years, that'd be wonderful.
Okay, all right. Is there anyone from the public to speak with respect to 25 North Main Street? For or against? All right, seeing none. Board members, how do we feel about this?
I think I think it's fine. We should approve it.
Thank you.
I agree. I
Okay.
agree. Thank you.
Me too. I hereby move that we grant petition number 22-02, 2202-15 for a period of 5 years on all the conditions of the prior permit, and with the express note that the permit applies even if the premises are revised in accordance with our finding of, and Jeannie, you'll have to fill in the date that we made. It was, I think, a year ago. Earlier this year?
no, wasn't it in the spring?
Maybe, but whatever, our
Yes.
prior finding.
Yes.
As to our prior finding is to the reconfiguration of the premises. That's my motion.
I'd second that.
Further discussion?
No,
Oh,
All right, moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Novak votes aye.
Stefan, aye.
Pitch, aye.
All right, Mr. Carrera, you can go back to bailing. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeannie.
You're welcome, Bob.
All right, next up, 2202-16, Peter Hardeman, renewal of the special permit under section 3.2.5 to maintain an office for a construction business at a residence and to store equipment in a garage, 113 Western Avenue in a Residence B district. And I remember when this came up and you came in, you said, Nobody would see it. Nobody would be aware of it. It would all be out of sight. At least as far as I could tell, you've been right. So, Mr.
Kadar,
Hardiman,
you are muted.
oh, yes.
There.
Hello?
Yes,
You're
now,
there.
now we can hear you.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
So, you just want a straight renewal of the same permit?
If that was possible, I would love that. Thank you.
All right. Is anyone here to speak on 113 Western Avenue? Going once, going twice. Okay, board members, what do you think?
I don't see any issue here. I'm fine with it.
Jeannie, this was 5 years, right? We did this in
5 years.
2017? Okay. All right, Mr. Fitch?
I agree.
Okay. I'm gonna move that we grant petition 2202-16, Peter Hardiman, renewal of special permit in section 3.2.5 as set forth in the application for a period of 5 years and otherwise under the conditions set forth in the prior permit. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor, vote aye. Novak votes aye.
Stefik, aye.
Fitch, aye.
Mr. Hardiman, thank you for joining us. We'll see you in 5 years.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you, Jeannie.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye now.
All right. I'll apologize in advance. I'm going to stumble over a name. 2202-17, David Aikoloyi. Correct me.
Correct.
All right, all right. Don't ask
Amazing.
me to do it twice. I'm going to call you the petitioner from now on, sir. And I see that you brought a very young counsel with you. We'll be looking to hear from him or her. Yep, okay. Very, very articulate. Okay, tell us about your proposal.
Yes. I want to start a small side business, selling one used car at a time. So it's going to be only me selling the car, and we have a lot of parking at our yard where I can put the car. So nobody is going to see it outside, that because I'm not going to display the car outside. Yeah. So, I've also spoken to my landlord. They are in the meeting and they have agreed to it.
Okay, so you reside at the premises. That's where you live.
Yes.
You're a tenant, you don't own it, but you have your landlord's support. That was the co-petitioner who signed on.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. And trying to picture the property. I don't have it firmly in mind. Is it, how many cars are stored there now?
Currently, we have 3 cars, my car and the car of my landlord. So we have 3 cars in the compound.
Okay, and how many of those, how many garage spaces do you have?
Is a lot. Okay, for me, we have one
Inside.
garage. Yeah,
Yeah.
one closed garage.
One space, closed garage.
One
And-
closed garage and a lot of parking space out the yard.
So there's,
Got it.
yeah, so the driveway can park a bunch of cars, but there's one garage space inside the garage.
Okay, so there's one enclosed space in the garage.
Yes,
And would the car for sale live in there?
yes. Oh,
Would that be a requirement? It might be easier if it wasn't, but
Right. Well, you listen to what we're gonna say and you'll see where I'm going there.
okay,
And you'll get a chance to speak up some more.
okay.
Okay, and is there anything else you want to it's one car at a time being sold by one person who lives there at a time.
Yes.
And you won't have more than one customer there at a time. You're not gonna hold an auction and have 50 people in the driveway.
Uh-huh.
No,
Okay.
thank you.
No signage, no
No.
flashing lights,
No.
no moving
Like-
signage.
We like the quiet neighborhood that we're in, so we're
Right.
hoping to keep it that way.
Right, got it, okay. Okay, and is there anyone else from the public here to speak on this? Carol Mitchell,
Yes, Roy and Carol Mitchell. We live in
Please.
the other half. We are the owners of the property. It's a two-family home and we live in the other side. And there's plenty of parking behind the house that's not visible from the street.
Basically 4 parking places,
Could be more.
but it could be more, yeah.
okay, got it. And it sounds like you're in support.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Got it, okay. Okay, all right, is there anyone else here to be heard on this? Going once, going twice. Mr. Constantine. Oops, you're muted, sir. Steve, you're muted. There we go.
Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. So I'm gonna put on my groundwater protection hat here. And I just wanted to ask, what kind of cars are these? Are these cars for repair? I'm worried about fluids, things like oil, antifreeze, things like that. Will anything like that be taking place? Any car repair work?
No, the cars are not for repairs. They are just for sale.
Just for sale?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're happy to have clean drinking water on our property, so.
Yeah.
Great. It's important.
Okay. Anyone else of any age who has something to say on the topic
You have anything to say?
or wishes to be heard?
Yeah, you want to be heard. I think you.
Our grandson does have good vocal cords.
Yes, I can say, I've seen the backside of many counterparties in my negotiations over the years, so it's not new and I don't take it personally.
Yeah, so I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I'm Allison Mitchell, who's now Allison Oyekuloye, and these are my parents. I grew up in this house and I'm very thankful to have my husband and son here as well. So we're
Great.
really enjoying Sherborn.
How wonderful for all of you. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay. So nobody else from the public wishes to be heard, right? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay, board members, we've got a little bit of a square peg and round hole issue here to work through, right? How does this fit into the bylaw? I think it's pretty clear that they can't do any repairs. They can't do any service. Because those are all prohibited uses and the groundwater protection people would rightly get up in arms about that.
Yeah.
If I'm hearing the petitioner correctly, David is proposing to us that he have one car on the lot at a time to be sold. And it sounds like, David, you're not so much buying this car and owning it yourself and then reselling it. You're sort of saying, if I were selling my car, you'd say, Rick, bring it over to my house, park it here, I'll sell it for you. Or are you buying the cars yourself?
Yes, there is an auction where I can buy the car.
Yeah,
And when I want to put it on sale, I put it online. Like
Got it.
there are so many online websites where I can put it. So when the customer see there, we negotiate, and when they want to pick it up, that's the only time they come to me.
okay, but you will be owning these cars for sure. You'll go to, say, Odessa, probably are going to Odessa, and buying the cars at auction there and bringing them home and then reselling them.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, just wanted to make sure I understood the business model. Okay. Right. Let's get out the bylaws. See if we can see, well, see if we want, let's see, it's not a home occupation. And by the way, other than the physical presence of the car, there's no impact on this, your living space in your house or your apartment. It's not like you're gonna have a separate office there, the car sales office or something like that. No, right, right. Someone's gonna come up. If I wanted to buy the car, I'd drive up, I'd get in the driveway, I'd wave, you'd come out and say, okay, here's the car, what do you think? And we'd negotiate. Okay.
And some of that negotiation might even be done before the person arrives. if that's-
Hopefully all of it, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's not a beauty parlor, barber shop, convalescent, or rest home, tourist home, massage parlor, or similar establishment.
Could it be at 3.2.5? Just professional occupation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's what it's submitted under.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it fits. There's one qualification that there is no exterior storage of material or equipment, including
Right.
the parking of commercial vehicles, and no other exterior indication of such use or variation from the residential character of the premises.
Right,
So,
but if they put the cars in the garage, they'd have it.
Yeah,
yeah,
Sale car in the garage,
yeah, that applies to D as well as E, which
right.
there's no public display of goods or wares.
Can
Well,
you, can you live with putting the cars in the garage? You see, the Mitchells may not like that. I see hands waving. Speak up.
yeah, the garage at this point is used for storage. It could be cleared out. Basically, all of the cars are parked behind the garage. The driveway goes around the house and comes out the other side, and all the cars are parked in the back of the house. No one would think that this wasn't David and Allison's second car as opposed to something for sale.
So,
And
so they're,
essentially, they're not visible from the street.
yeah, okay.
If we had to clear out the garage, we would. Our preference would be not to need to do that.
Are there abutting properties that see the back of the house?
No.
Willie C lives next door, but there's a hedge. I mean, the yards are contiguous, but it's quite a distance away.
Probably a 10-foot hedge.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for them to see the car and back.
Right.
And I don't think they would realize that it wasn't just
Yeah.
Alice.
Just one of your cars.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. I see someone wants to speak, Jeannie Guthrie. I may get the name wrong. Guthrie, something like that.
Would this really be considered a commercial vehicle? Not really. So they wouldn't have to store them.
Well, no exterior storage of material or equipment,
And that's neither.
and no exterior indication of the use. So, the fact that it's not a commercial vehicle helps, but it doesn't end the inquiry.
Well, in the prior, in under D, if what they're saying is correct, this is that there is no public display of goods or wares. So they're basically saying all of the cars are parked behind the garage, which is not visible to the public. So it seems to me that complies.
I agree.
Okay. Mr. Fitch, and I do too. Mr. Fitch, do you want to make a motion?
Yes, I move that the petition of David
The petition be granted.
I Kaloye.
Okay, great. We'll learn it.
for a special permit under section 3.2.5 of the zoning bylaws for the operation of a class 2 automobile dealer's license to buy and sell one used car at a time at 119 Coolidge Street, Sherborn, be allowed.
And would you take a friendly amendment that it be subject to all of the conditions of 3.2.5 A through E, and that there be no maintenance or repair of any vehicle or any such vehicles on the premise.
Yes, I accept that amendment happily, yes.
Okay. With that small amendment, I'd second the motion.
Okay,
Further editing, Mr. Stefik?
No, I have no other comments.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion, commentary from anybody?
How many years?
Is this a five?
can we do 5 years?
Pull it
It
all.
can be up to 5 years.
Up to five.
It's just-
I'd go with 5. I mean, if it turns out, you know, he surprises all of us and is just abusing the heck out of this permit, I'm sure Mr. Canny will go visit with him and there's a way to resolve that.
Right.
Yes, I agree.
Okay,
Okay,
so 5 years, moved and seconded, on those conditions. All in favor, say aye. Novak votes aye.
Stefan, aye.
Fitch, aye.
All right. Have a wonderful evening. Give that baby an extra hug
Yeah,
and
Thank you
enjoy.
so much. Yeah, this is our little son, Jesse.
cute baby.
Yeah, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Thank you
Ladies and
so much.
gentlemen,
Okay,
thank you
bye.
very much.
Bye. See you
Bye,
later.
Julie.
Appreciate it.
All right. Next up. 220218 petition of Steve Constantine, finding under 1.4.6 or variance if necessary from section 4.2 to reduce a legally pre-existing non-conforming lot to less than 1 acre at 32 to 34 North Main Street. And Jeannie, are you in a position to put up the plan, or Steve, can you put up the plan?
I can do that.
That'd be
and
great if you
also-
would, sir.
And we've got Dan McIntyre on the line. He designed and put together the septic. So yeah, let me share.
Okay, and while you're doing that, we'll invite Mr. McIntyre. Sounds like you're the spokesperson for the proposal. Make your proposal, sir, please. Oh, we're back to noise. That can't be right.
Back on the lake.
Back to the lake.
There we go. Oh, yeah, that's really good. Can you make that even a little tiny bit bigger?
Oh, you
If not, don't worry about it.
zoom to.
Let's work with what we've got. It's up there. All right, Mr. McIntyre.
Sure, Dan McIntyre representing Steve Constantine, professional engineer in Massachusetts, hired by Steve to design a new septic system for number 30 North Main Street. It's a very small lot served by a private well and a cesspool currently. There's no room on the existing lot to put a Title V compliant septic system. But Mr. Constantine owns the property next door at 3234 North Main, which is a relatively large parcel in comparison. So we did some soil testing in the back of that property, which is directly behind number 30, and found suitable soils for a septic system, which we designed kind of way in the back part of that parcel. And we piped it from the home through that area right there exactly for access. We went to the Board of Health. They approved the design. We initially asked for it to be in an easement on 3234. They did not want to put the new septic system on an easement. They wanted it to be on the property that it serves.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
So we had a surveyor subdivide the 3234 North Main Street property to allow the new septic system to be on the 30 North Main property and still leave sufficient room on 3234 to design a Title V compliant system should their current system fail in the future. So we're requesting that variance to allow a slightly smaller than an acre lot for 3234 in order to support the septic for number 30. From an environmental standpoint, it's a vast improvement to what there now with respect to the well at number 30. And in addition to the abutters wells, we're getting the new septic system in compliance with well setbacks for the abutting wells, including the the public wells for the restaurant across the street. So we think it's a vast improvement. The Board of Health has approved it, provided it's not on an easement. So with that, I can turn it over to questions.
Okay, and this is the property which is more colloquially known in town as Elliott Taylor's house, used to be.
That's correct.
And Steve, I hope that you do not own these two properties in the same title, right? You've got them under different trusts or something like that.
Yes, I do.
Good. That's really in your interest and in all of our interest, because if you put those two together, we'd have a mess. So keep them separate. Great work. And this looks like a doesn't look like it's on the plan yet, Mr. McIntyre, but I assume before you take this to the planning board, you're going to endorse that little flag lot at the back that you're taking off 32, 34 and given to 30 as not a building lot, right?
Well, we're not creating a separate parcel. There's still going to be two lots. We're not
Right,
creating a third.
Well, we'll talk with the planning board about that, because
Okay.
that swap piece should, to get the planning board to sign it, it should say not a building lot, and then it's perfectly normal swap procedure. Just talk with the planning board about it. They'll know what to do.
Sure, okay.
All right, is there anybody from the public who's got something to say about this? Mr. Constantine, I'm gonna just go out on a limb and assume you're in favor of this one.
I am in favor of this one. And also I put up the statement of circumstances on the, it kind of shows a little bit more detail. And
Yep.
also just wanted to say we're looking to save Elliott's house. It's a historic home. It was built 6 years after the American Revolution. So yeah.
Yep.
it's,
I get all of that and support it. Comments from anybody else? We take it back to the board. And Steve, can you leave the map up but take the statement of circumstances down, please?
Sure.
Thank you. All right, board members. What do you think? Oh, and by the way, we also have, and we don't need to put it up, and I'll read it if people insist, an extremely supportive letter that came in from the Board of Health asking us to do this for exactly the reasons that Mr. Constantine and Mr. McIntyre have suggested, which is it brings the Elliott Taylor house into compliance in a way that would otherwise be impossible, at the cost of creating a new nonconformity for 32 to 34. I'll read that letter if you want, but I think you guys
Okay.
all saw it, right?
Yep, I've seen it.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if it's time for me to comment.
Please.
I guess the question is whether we can make a required finding to grant a variance under section 7.2.4B. And specifically find that circumstances relating to soil conditions, topography, or the shape of the land or structures affect a particular land or structure, but do not generally affect the zoning district in which it's located, such that literal enforcement of the terms of the bylaws would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise. And the desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent and purpose of this bylaw. Well, I think the considerations of the public good, environmental considerations, the historic character of the house, doesn't seem to be another reasonable alternative to this. And so I think that competent and responsible people have put together a plan to deal with this issue, and the Board of Health is behind it, so I'm in favor.
And I think I agree with your analysis, Jonathan. Would you also agree that, if we were Steve Constantine and 5 years from now and someone was throwing rocks at him, he'd much rather have the variance in his pocket than just a finding?
Yes.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. Because I think that's the better relief here and the stronger relief, and a rare place where it might be justified. Mr. Stefik.
So 3234 has the same septic issues as 30. I mean, currently there's like a leaching pit or something, some kind of system like that.
It's currently served by a cesspool that at some point will have to be upgraded to a Title V compliant system.
Okay, and then you have confidence that the remaining area apparently next to where the new leaching field would go would be adequate for.
Yes, in fact, we did soil testing witnessed by the Board of Health in that area to support a future design.
So the whole portion of that current site is suitable for a new leaching field.
What do you mean? What do you mean the whole portion?
I think he means the part directly behind the L.A. Taylor house, the long box.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
we can't use all of that.
I think you identified the location for the new septic system on 30. And I thought I heard you say that right adjacent on the remaining portion of 3234 would go a future.
Exactly. That's where it would go. System. And that's where we tested with the Board of Health to prove that out.
All right. So I think I'm on board with Jonathan's position on this.
I think I am too. It sounds like the risk we're taking, Dan, if I understand this correctly, is that we do this a year from now, you're trying to put in your septic system for 3234 and something has changed or gone disastrously wrong. And now we've given away the land for the benefit of 30 that would have been nice to have for 3234. And it sounds like your answer to that would be, yeah, but you still got a better situation in 30 than you ever had before.
That's true. But we did anticipate that question coming up, which is why we wanted to test on the remaining land with 3234 just to prove it out.
Yep.
Okay.
So Jonathan, is this a grant of a variance to 3234 to reduce their lot size? To further reduce their lot size?
Yes.
I think that's right. And the conditions would be that the land has to only be transferred to, for the benefit of 30, become permanently part of that lot. Right?
Yes.
So we'd make Mr. Constantine record deeds showing that he'd unified the front and back lots for 30. So now it's one lot going forward. That's in his interest and everybody else's. And Mr. McIntyre, I am going to insist that the lot be marked not a building lot, the flag lot, the lot being moved only because I don't want 10 years from now, someone to come in and say, well, I didn't know it was a building lot, it wasn't a building lot. I mean, and unfortunately, we hear that kind of astounding story from time to time.
Well, I guess my only question is that small lot line where you got those two Z's going through it.
Yeah.
That goes away. So it's really gonna be one odd shaped lot.
Right.
Correct, correct.
Right.
But the area in the back, the flag, the part that's being moved over, it should just be endorsed on that as a standalone is not a building lot. But when combined with the front, it is.
Okay, now I understand. All right.
It just isn't a separate. All right, so the lot has to go to 30. They have to get unified. The little flag lot can't be a building lot on its own. Other conditions we should be thinking of here, gents. I guess that the used for septic Board of Health approval. Mr. McIntyre, do you have an approved Board of Health approval in hand now, construction work, disposal works construction permit?
We have an approval from the Board of Health. Issuance of the disposal works construction permit is conditioned on getting this plan recorded at the Registry of Deeds.
Excellent, good for them. And was there a date of that Board of Health approval?
Ooh. Back in June sometime, Steve?
All right, you can give that to Jeannie.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll so we can put it in the final.
We'll get that off to you.
Right, I get it. Jonathan, Ron, Jeannie, what am I missing? Anything?
I can't think of anything more.
Neither can I.
Okay, I would like to make a motion then. I hereby move that we grant petition 2202-18 for a variance under section 4.2 to allow a portion of the lot at 32 to 34 North Main Street to be severed off and conveyed to become part of the lot at 30 North Main Street. And that we specifically find that due to circumstances relating to the soil conditions, topography, and shape of the land or structures, which specifically affect the particular land or structure, but do not generally affect the zoning district in which it's located, are such that a literal enforcement of the terms of the bylaw would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, to the applicant for the variance, and that desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent and purpose of this bylaw. And continuing my motion, that it be on the following conditions: that the lot marked, Steve, I can't read it. What is it called? Parcel A?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's parcel, I think it's parcel A.
Okay, that the lot marked parcel A on the plan be conveyed and joined in real estate record title to, is it lot 1? Is that what the Ella Taylor property is?
Let me see if I can,
Oh, that's pretty good. Now, okay, let's just scroll across. You'll have it.
let's see.
Okay, to be
Parcel-
conveyed from lot 1 to lot 2.
Right,
That the variance, okay, so it has to convey it. It has to be recorded to unify the lots. That parcel A be noted on the plan as, quote, not a building lot, close quote, on the recorded plan. And that parcel A be used to provide septic facilities to support 30 North Main Street in accordance with the Board of Health approval of June blank 2022. That's my motion.
I second that motion.
Mr. Stefik, any further editing?
No, I have none.
Okay. Motion is, any comments from anybody? Well, Mr. Constantine, we don't give out lots of variances, but you get one. All in favor, vote aye. Novak votes aye.
Stefik, aye.
Fitch, aye.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you for a terrific presentation. This looks like a great thing for the town. I hope it works out really well for both properties.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
All right.
Thanks, Jeannie.
You're welcome.
All right. Jeannie, do we have other business? Do we need to set another meeting?
Not so far.
We're
No.
looking down, oh, Courtney Eck was here for a second, but it sounds like you didn't have something to say. We're looking down the barrel of 2 40Bs over on Route 16.
No, 1 40B on 16 and 1 on Greenwood Street.
Well, excuse me, they back up to each other, Miss Snark.
Where is it on Route 16?
Right across from Page Farm, I think.
Yeah.
On that property that's for sale, has been for sale.
Okay.
It's
We
sort of
haven't
in
gotten
the,
it. We haven't gotten this part of it yet. We received, I sent you the 4-house one that we received.
On Greenwood. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
and neither of them are before us yet. They're still working their way through the state process.
And we haven't heard anything from the one on Farm Road either, so.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Lebarsky is still, in the process at Hack. There's nothing to report there.
Okay.
All right, so Jeannie, given all that, do we need to discuss anything, set another meeting? Saying no would be
No,
wicked popular.
somebody had called, they wanted a variance to put a ground mounted solar in the back of their property, but we kind of went, put it on the roof of your house.
Well, yeah.
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 Okay. All right.
So I don't know if that's gonna come forward.
Interesting. Okay. All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Yeah, if something comes up, I'll let you all know, or if we hear
Okay.
anything from Mass Housing about Farm Road, but right now it's kind of quiet.
Okay, great.
Okay,
I move to adjourn.
Second,
out of here. All right, have a good night, everybody.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye, aye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.